everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna work on this gorgeous bracelet. It's double Aurora bracelet. If you guys remember this Aurora bracelet we made, well, several months back I think now, and I was just playing with the design and decided to make a double version of it. And because you change the colors, it really looks beautiful. I'm really liking it. But the only thing is, this bracelet, I'm not really happy with the end result. I used two different beads. They're both 6mm wide. These are 6mm pearls and these are 6x8 rondelles. So technically they're supposed to be the same width, but I don't think they are. That's why it ended up with the middle line wider than the sides. So when I embellished the sides, I added 250 and then when I embellished insides, I embellished it with 150. And still, you know, it doesn't look right. It looks great when you wear it. So for someone who is not so OCD with the final result as me, probably will keep it, but after this tutorial I will take it apart. So to be able to fix that issue of middle lane being longer, I'm actually using rondelles this time. Both of them are 6x8 rondelles, bought from the same shop, so hopefully the width wise it should be the same. So we'll see how it turns out in the end, but you can probably use 6mm fire polish. They are known to be quite identical, so maybe that will not have this issue. But I have a lot of rondelles, so I wanted to use up some. So I'm gonna be using two different colors. So I'm gonna be using, I think, this one on the outside and this will be inside line. And then you will need some 11 Tohos. I'm gonna be using pine green, so kind of making like flowery color combination here, and then some 15 Tohos. And then you will need clasp. Now magnetic clasp here, you know, I thought it would be nice because it just clasps on your hand and it's quite cute, but even on your wrist it doesn't look great because of that middle lane. And then, you know, even if you just lie it down, it's not, the way you end the loop, it's not great for magnetic clasp. So I decided to use some classic lobster clasp, and then you will need 4 jump rings with it. And because we're using jump rings, you will need 2 pliers to open and close those jump rings. And then you will need a beading needle size 10, Nymo size D. I'm gonna be using gray with my colors, and then scissors to cut the thread. So I'm gonna take 2 yards to finish one side, and then I'm gonna take separate 2 yards to finish another side. So go ahead, thread your needle with 2 yards, and then we'll get to work. So I have all my beads here on the side, and then I thread my needle with 2 yards. And then another thing I forgot to mention, you'll need a stop bead. So go ahead, take the stop bead. I'm gonna leave a tail of about 6 inch. That's gonna be enough to add one side of the clasp. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take my needle through that stop bead again. I think that's it. So we're gonna start with the bead that you want to keep in the middle. Now I want to have pink in the middle and the brown one will be on the side. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pick up 7 11-0s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 11-0s, and then I'm gonna pick up my rondelle, and then I'm gonna pick up 5 11-0s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we start with 7 11-0s, 1 rondelle, and 5 11-0s. I'm gonna drop it down, and then I'm gonna take my needle through the first 2 11-0s. I'm gonna take my needle through the first 2 11-0s going the other way, and then pull my thread. And what gives us is this. And now from here, what I'm gonna do is repetitious all the way until we finish this line. I'm gonna pick up the rondelle on this side. So I'm using brown on this side, and then 5 11-0s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm gonna go through 2 11-0s on this side. And then pull my thread nice and tight. Flip it over. Pick up a rondelle my thread is here, so I'm next to the pink. I'm gonna pick up pink and then 5 11s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go through these 2 11s. Pull my thread, flip it over. My thread is next to the brown. I'm gonna pick up brown rondelle and 5 11s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go through 2 11s on this side. See, it's very easy. Flip it over, your thread's next to the pink. You pick up pink rondelle and 5 11s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go through the top 2 and pull your thread. So you continue like that all the way until you reach required length to go around your wrist. Just leave out the length for your clasp, and then I'm gonna meet you back here. I almost have my required length. Now when I add the last rondelle, I want to make sure I add the one that's in the center. Now I don't remember which one was in the center, but I can go back to the beginning and see the first one I added is pink, which means pink is my center bead. So when I add the next layer, I'm gonna be adding brown on this side. So I want to go ahead and finish with the pink. I'm gonna pick up my work here. Pick up 1 pink and 5 11os. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go through the top 2 11os. And here we are done. I want to go ahead and reinforce this last couple units because this is where my clasp is going to be attached, and I want to make sure it's nice and strong. So I'm gonna go ahead, go through the red rondelle here. Just making sure I'm pulling my thread nice and tight around here. So going twice now through this part. I want to make sure I'm going there 3 times. So I'm just gonna come back around again. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this tail for now because we will need it to embellish it with the 50 nose. But I'm gonna go ahead, remove the stop bead on this side carefully, thread my needle. Now I want to go ahead and reinforce this end because that's where our clasp is going to be, and that's why I left this tail to reinforce this side. And then we can go ahead and get rid of this tail. So I'm gonna go down through this red bead, red, brown, or whatever you call it. Then go through all those 11 nose up. Go through the pink rondelle, back through these beads here. And now I can go ahead and get rid of the tail. So I'm gonna go through these 2 beads here. Take my thread under the beads, leave a small loop, take my needle through, and pull the thread nice and tight. Continue on my way. Go through the pink here. Go down 2 beads. Take my needle under the thread somewhere. Take my needle through that loop and pull the thread. Now I'm just gonna take my thread away from that loop And here I can just go ahead and cut this thread. This is the initial tail, so it's quite a small tail left. I don't need it. I have still that long thread on the other side that I can use to embellish this side. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and add the second side of these rondelles. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna thread my needle with 2 yards and I'm gonna meet you back here. So I went ahead, thread my needle with 2 yards. We're gonna take the stop bead. I'm gonna again leave about 6 inch. That will be enough to reinforce this end, one side where we're gonna start. Then just take my needle through the stop bead again. Now I'm gonna flip it over. I need my center bead looking up to me. Now we're not gonna do anything with that side. We're just gonna add the second side here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pick up 7 11-ohs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 11-ohs. I'm gonna take it through this first pink, or whatever bead you are using for the center. And then I'm gonna pick up 5 11-ohs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna take it down through the first 2 11-ohs here next to the stop bead and pull my thread. Then from here it's going to be repetitious. I'm gonna pick up 1 brown, 5 15-ohs. I'm gonna take it up through these 2 11-ohs, pull my thread, and then take it through that pink, next pink, or the center bead. Then I'm gonna pick up 5 15-ohs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And go down to these 2 11-ohs. Again, I'm gonna pick up 1 brown, 5 15-ohs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go up through these 2. And then through the pink. Then pick up 5 15-ohs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down through these 2 11-ohs. I'm gonna show you one more time, and then from there I'm gonna let you finish it off on your own, this row. So pick up 1 red or brown, whichever bead you are using on the sides, and then 5 11-ohs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take through these 2 11-ohs, through the pink, the center bead, 5 11-ohs, and then down through these 2 11-ohs, the one next to your side bead, brown or red in my case. It's like what, a red brick color or something. And then pull the thread. And just like that, you just continue all the way until you reach the other side, and I'm gonna meet you back here. So I added the last side bead here and brought my needle down, adding the 5 15-ohs here. And basically the shape is done, and I'm quite liking it. I think that now I used the same beads. You know, it's not, look, if I lie this one next to it, you can't really probably see on the camera, but you can tell the beads going up and down here, while here they're quite flat because the sizes are same. Here, even though they are both 6 mm, I think the pearls are quite much bigger than the rondelles here. So see, if I hold it down, it kind of bends down the middle part. But this one I think is pretty good. Look, nothing. So that's good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and reinforce this side. So I'm just gonna pull my thread here a bit. Take my needle down here through some beads here. Here. Just reinforcing the ends. And gonna bring down here. Now I'm just gonna leave it at that for now. I'm gonna take my needle. I want to go ahead and get rid of this tail here, so I'm gonna remove that stop bead. Thread my needle with this tail. And now I'm just gonna reinforce this end and get rid of this small tail. Just go down through the brown bead, up through these beads here. Up through the pink bead, down through these beads here, through here, through some beads here. Take my needle under the thread here, small loop, take my needle through that loop and pull the thread. Continue on my way up through the pink bead here, down 2 beads, take my needle under the thread, small loop, and here, and then just take my needle away from that knot. Here I can remove my needle and cut the thread. Now here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna thread my needle with the same tail, same thread I was working with initially. Well, it doesn't matter, they are both ending at the same sides here, see? So I'm just gonna take one. See, I'm coming out at the end here. I'm gonna pick up one 15-0, go down through the rondelle. Then every time I pick up 2 15-0s, go down the next one. 2 15-0s, go down the next one. 2 15-0s, go down the next one. 2 15-0s, go down the next one, and all the way until we reach the other side, and I'm gonna meet you back here. So I reached the other end, adding all the 15-0s on my way, 2 15-0s between each bead. Now I'm gonna pick up 1 15-0 and then go through these 7 beads here at the end. Now I need 1 11-0. Finish my 11-0s here. And then here, I'm gonna pass through all these 7 beads on this side. Then I'm gonna pick up 1 15-0, go down through this red bead here. Go through these 7 beads here. Go through the pink bead, back through these 7 beads, through the red bead here, through the 15-0 and 7 beads. Don't go through the bead we added in between, just go down through the pink bead and start adding 250 nose between the pink beads now. And continue all the way until the other side, and I'm gonna meet you back here. So I added the 50 nose between the middle part. I reached the other side, and I can go ahead and get rid of this tail so we can work with the second one. And now I'm just gonna go downwards this side, go through some beads on my way. Don't skip any 50 nose on the way. Come out of the rondelle. Gonna go through these two beads here. Take my needle under the thread, take my needle through this loop and pull the thread. And now before I get rid of the tail, what I'm gonna do, I have quite a bit of a tail left. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reinforce on my way. You want your bracelet to be strong, so I'm just gonna randomly go through some beads here and there just to reinforce it. And I think that's enough here. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut the thread. And now I can thread this remaining tail we have. I'm gonna go through the 50 now and through the rondelle. Pick up 250 nows. Go through the next rondelle. 250 nows, go through the next rondelle, and all the way until I reach the other side, and I'm gonna meet you back here. So I added all the 50 nows and reached the other side, and here I'm gonna pick up 150 now, go through this 7 11 nows, gonna pick up 1 11 now, and then get to this side. And now we are done. Now, because I have quite a long thread, I'm gonna go ahead, sew in between the threads, you know, reinforcing my bracelet wherever I can. And once I have a small tail, I'm gonna make a couple loops, just like we did with the other tails, and just cut the thread. And then I'm gonna meet you back here. So now all I have left to do is to add my clasp. So I'm gonna take the clasps and pliers. So I'm gonna take one of the jump rings, hold it in place with my curved nose pliers, open it up. See these two loops at the end? That's the ones we're gonna attach our jump rings. Take the second jump ring, open it up, take it through the second loop there, and close it. Now I'm gonna take the second side, take one of the jump rings, open it up, take one of my clasps through, and one of the loops. And then I'm gonna take the second jump ring. Now it will be attached like this, okay. And through the second loop there, and close it. Oops, I wanted them both looking same direction, so I'm gonna remove the clasp and add it the other way. and then close it. Yeah. And now I can go ahead. So here they are. Didn't mean to make it look like Christmassy. I was rather thinking about flowers, but it does give you a bit of a Christmassy colors as well. So these are the bracelets, and I hope you guys like the end result. I really like the colors here, the brown and blue. This one's pretty cute too. It turned out more Christmassy than I wanted it. I wasn't really thinking about Christmas. I was rather thinking about flowers, but it's alright. I can wear it in summer and winter. Matches both seasons. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to check out the description box for the materials you need. And remember, you need 6mm beads. These ones are 6x8 rondelles. The important part here is the width of these rondelles here is 6mm. And here I used 6x8 rondelles and 6mm pearls. So as long as your bead is 6mm wide, you'll be fine. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.